Eli Ward woke up with a sharp pain in his head. The room was bright, too bright. The ceiling above him glowed softly like the sky of a strange world. It wasn't Earth. The air smelled clean like metal and flowers. He tried to sit up, but his body felt weak. He touched his forehead. No blood, no injury, but he remembered being captured. Earth was under attack. Alien ships had come fast, and the resistance had failed. Now he was here in a room with golden walls, smooth furniture, and strange symbols floating in the air. Before he could move again, the door opened.
Too tall?
Figures entered. They were not human. Right. Their skin was smooth and pale blue. Their eyes glowed softly, and their clothes looked like they were made of light. One of them spoke. "You are awake. The Empress is waiting." Eli frowned. "The what? The Empress?" She has chosen you. You will come." Lee stood up slowly. "I'm not going anywhere until I know what's happening." The second alien looked amused. "You are a guest, not a prisoner. But refusing her invitation is unwise." They led him through long, curved halls. Everything around him felt alien beautiful, but cold. He didn't see other humans, only Valerie. That was the name Earth's rebels used for this species, the Valeri Empire, conquerors of 1,000 worlds. Finally, they reached a massive door. It opened silently. Inside was a high throne room, wide and shining like gold. The ceiling looked like a night sky, full of stars. At the center stood a woman, not a human woman, but a young Valeri, elegant and graceful. She wore a flowing dress that shimmered like water. A thin silver crown rested on her head. She smiled. "You are Eli Ward from Earth. Welcome." Eli didn't smile back. "Am I a prisoner?" "No," she said, "you are." "Mine." He froze. "Yours, I am Kalira, daughter of the former Empress. I am now ruler of the Valeri Empire. You are a gift to me, from the warlords who captured Earth's resistance." Eli's fists clenched. "You think I'm some kind of pet?" She raised a hand. "No, I read your profile. You're not a soldier. You're an engineer, a builder, a mind that solves problems." He stared at her. "So what? I'm still a prisoner." Kalira stepped closer. "You are not in chains. Are free inside the palace. You will eat, live, and be treated well, but you cannot leave. Why? Because I have chosen you." Eli shook his head. "You don't get to choose people like that." Kalira's voice turned soft. "I was raised in isolation, surrounded by teachers, guards, and silence. Became Empress at 19. I have no friends, no equals. Then I read your mind files. It's your humor, your anger, your strange Earth ideas. Wanted to meet you?" Eli narrowed his eyes. "So you stole me?" "I rescued you from the labs. Others wanted to dissect your brain." He stepped back. "You're not helping your case." She sighed. "I want to understand you, Eli. I want to talk, to learn. I can give you anything you ask, except freedom." Eli's jaw tightened. "Then we're done here." She didn't stop him when he walked away. The guards led him to his quarters. What in a cell it looked like a luxury suite. Food appeared, at his command. Walls shifted into windows that showed views of alien forests and oceans, but none of it mattered. He was trapped. 3 days later, Lee explored the palace. He found no exits. Guards stood silent at every corner. Drones flew above. Escape was impossible. Kalira visited him each evening. She didn't force him to speak. She asked questions about Earth, his childhood, music, food. He answered slowly, coldly, but her curiosity never faded. One night she brought a small box. "I had this made. Plays Earth songs." He opened it. It was a music player with old rock tunes he loved, his favorites. "How did you know these?" he asked. "I studied your records," she said softly. "I wanted to give you comfort." He looked at her for the first time without anger. "Why me?" Kalira looked down. "Because you are not afraid of me." Eli didn't respond. 1 week later, Eli found a hidden console in the palace library. He studied it during the night when guards weren't watching. With his engineering, Skills: he rewired a small transmitter, sent a coded message toward Earth. Eli Ward. Alive. Captured. Valeri Throne Palace. Need help, End? He didn't know if anyone would receive it. Kaelira invites him again. Will you dine with me tonight? She asked one evening. Eli hesitated, then nodded. The dinner was strange alien fruits, glowing drinks, but she had tried to match Earth-style food too. There was roasted meat, bread, and even a form of chocolate. Why do you try so hard? He asked during the meal. Kaelira looked at him seriously. Because I believe the future of my empire must change. You humans are different, alive in a way we forgot. I want your help. Help to do what? To reform everything. To stop this endless conquering. To make peace. Eli studied her face. Was she lying? Or truly desperate for something better? You don't need me for that, he said. I need someone I trust. Someone who sees things I cannot. Someone who tells me no. He laughed bitterly. You kidnapped the wrong human, she smiled. I disagree. Late that night, Lee sat in his room thinking. Part of him hated her for what she represented, the empire, the wars, the loss. But another part saw her loneliness, her quiet sadness. She had power, yes, but no joy. No freedom, just like him. She was a prisoner too, in a different cage. The warning A voice spoke from a drone the next morning, not Kaelira's voice. You are gaining too much attention, human, it said. Your presence weakens the throne. Stay quiet. Stay obedient. Or vanish. Eli reported it to Kaelira. She was furious. There are enemies inside the palace. Some believe you are a threat. But I will protect you. Maybe you shouldn't, he said. You're risking your empire for me. She stepped closer. Are not a risk. You are a choice. Eli looked into her glowing eyes. Something warm stirred inside him, but he turned away. I still want to leave. Her voice trembled. Still no. And I still won't let you. Ending scene that night, Eli looked up at the stars from the palace balcony. Somewhere Earth might still be fighting. Somewhere someone might have heard his signal. But here he was, in a golden cage, with a queen who spoke of peace, and looked at him not as a servant, but as something more. He whispered to the stars, What do I do now? The stars gave no answer. Only the silent gaze of the Empress watched from the shadows behind him. The sun never truly set in the Valeri Empire. Even in the darkest corners of the palace, soft lights glowed like stars, reflecting off the smooth golden walls. Eli Ward sat at a large table in the Empress's private chamber, watching Kaelira. As she spoke, she talked about Eartha Blue planet Eli had once called home. She listened closely as he described its oceans, forests, and people. Her eyes shone with wonder, but also loneliness. Kaelira was not like other rulers Eli had heard about. She did not roar commands or shout orders. Instead, she spoke softly. With care, it was strange and confusing. I want to understand more, Kaelira said, her voice barely above a whisper. Your world is so different from mine, yet, it calls to me. Eli wanted to believe her, but he still felt trapped. The palace visits every evening, Kaelira visited him. Sometimes she brought gifts books from Earth, clothes made of soft fabrics, even small pieces of food she had learned humans liked. Eli was careful. He did not trust her fully. But he also could not deny he looked forward to her visits. One evening, she asked him a question. Eli, do you have a family? People who love you? He swallowed. I had a sister and parents. I don't know if they're alive anymore. Kaelira's eyes softened. I'm sorry, I do not know loss like that. My family is the Empire, but it is lonely. They sat. In silence, the quiet was different, not heavy, but calm. An attempt to escape Eli's mind never stopped searching for a way out. One night, he found a hidden door behind a tapestry. It led to a narrow corridor. He moved quietly, heart pounding. He reached the outer gardens, beautiful and wild, full of strange plants glowing faintly in the dark. Eli's hope soared. Freedom was close, But before he could reach the gates, shadow moved. Kellyra stood there, her expression unreadable. "You try to leave again," she said softly. Eli faced her. "You said I'm free inside the palace." That didn't say anything. "About staying?" She smiled sadly. "You forget. Palace is all I have in you." He looked away, ashamed. Kellyra reached out gently, touching his arm. "Please, stay. Talk with me. Not as prisoner and queen, but as two people." For a moment, Eli hesitated. Could he trust her? Could he trust himself? Becoming her advisor after that night, Kellyra surprised him. "You have a sharp mind," she said. "I want you to help me. Not as a prisoner, but as my advisor." Eli blinked. "Advisor?" "Yes. You understand things differently than the Valeri. I want your ideas." It was tempting, a chance to have influence. To learn more, he agreed. Inside the Empire, I was new. Roll gave him access to the Empire's secrets. He saw the Valeri ships, massive war machines that spread across the galaxy. He learned about their politics, cruel generals who wanted only power. But Kellyra was different. She wanted peace. One day, she showed him a map of the galaxy. "Look here," she said, pointing to a small blue planet. "Earth lies heart. Tightened. We want to stop the wars, to build something new." Eli looked at her. "You really believe that?" She nodded. "I do." The rumors begin. Whispers spread through the palace. "The Empress is weak. She is in love with a human." Ignored the gossip, but Kellyra did not. She confided, "The council hates you. They want me to remove you. They say you are a danger." Eli clenched his fists. "They are scared." Kellyra smiled. "Maybe, but I will protect you." A night to remember. One evening, Kellyra invited Eli to a private dinner. The room was filled. With soft music from Earth, they talked and laughed. For the first time, Eli felt like he belonged. After dinner, she took his hand. "Eli, I've never felt this way before. You make me happy." Eli looked into her eyes. "But I'm still trapped." Shook her head. "Not anymore." He wanted to believe her, but fear held him back. The warning the next day. Eli received a secret message. "Be careful," it said. "Your presence is causing problems. The council plans to act." He showed the message to Kellyra. She was angry. "We must be ready. I will not lose you." Eli wondered if he was more than a prisoner now. Maybe he was her weakness and her strength. The end of part 2 that night. Eli stood by the window, watching the stars. Kellyra joined him quietly. "Do you trust me?" she asked. He looked at her. The Empire was a cage, but maybe with her it was also a home. "I don't know," he said. She smiled softly. "Then stay with me. We will find the answer together." The palace was alive with whispers and shadows. Eli Ward had never known such a strange world where danger and beauty mixed like fire and ice. Every day brought new challenges, from the cold eyes of the council to the growing warmth he felt. For Kellyra, it's the Empress who had claimed him as hers. The threat grows. The Valeri High Council did not trust Kellyra's choices. Many believed the Empress was weak because she had allowed a human so close to her power. They said Eli was a spy, a tool to tear the Empire apart from within. Eli had heard the rumors and seen the secret meetings behind closed doors. The council wanted him gone, and they would not stop at words. One evening, as the sun set behind the palace's golden spires, Eli found Kellyra pacing in her chambers. Her usually calm face was tight with worry. "They are planning something," she said quietly. "An attack against me and you." Eli's heart beat faster. "Why?" "Because of me." She nodded. "They say you poison my mind, not you make me forget my duty." Eli reached for her hand. "You're stronger than they know." Kellyra smiled sadly. "Maybe, but strength is not enough." The assassination attempt the very next day. The palace was shaken by violence. Eli was in the library, studying ancient texts about Valeri history, when alarms blared through the halls. Guards shouted, rushing past him. Kellyra's voice came through. "A communicator, all loyalists to me, defend the throne." Eli grabbed a small weapon from a nearby table, a sleek laser pistol he had never used before. He ran toward the throne room. When he arrived, chaos filled the space. Armed soldiers loyal to the council were fighting the Empress's guards. Kalira stood on the dais, calm but focused, dodging a sudden blast. One attacker rushed toward her. With a blade, Eli fired without thinking. The laser hit the man, stopping him in his tracks. Kalira's eyes met Eli's for a moment. There was only the two of them, the sounds of battle fading. Then she stepped down and pulled him close. She kissed him quick, but full of meaning. The palace froze. Everyone stopped fighting. The message was clear. The Empress stood with the human. The council's ultimatum the following day. The council summoned Kalira. Their faces were hard eyes, cold like steel. "You have chosen a human as your advisor and lover," the council leader said. "This is an insult to the Empire." Kalira stood tall. "He saved my life. He is not a prisoner. He is my chosen." The council's voice dropped to a warning. "Remove him or abdicate the throne." Kalira looked at Eli, who stood beside her, tense but steady. "I will not betray the one I trust." The council members whispered among themselves. Some bowed, some scowled. "This will end badly," one warned. Growing closer, the threat of the council did not stop Kalira and Eli from growing closer. They spent long nights in the palace gardens, under the glow of alien stars. Kalira showed Eli parts of the Empire few outsiders ever saw: ancient temples, forgotten libraries, and secret technology. She confided in him her dreams of peace, not just for Earth, but for all the worlds under Valeri rule. Eli shared stories from Earth about courage, hope, and the strength of people who never gave up. Their bond grew. It's built on trust and shared dreams. A secret plan one day, Kalira led Eli to a hidden room deep in the palace. Walls were covered with star charts and data screens. "This is my plan," she said, "to stop the war and save Earth." Eli studied the map carefully. It showed Valeri fleets, supply routes, and weak points. "We can use this to negotiate," Kalira explained, "to offer peace before more blood is spilled." Eli felt a spark of hope. Maybe this was the chance Earth needed. Conflicted feelings, but even as hope grew, Eli felt torn. Kalira was kind and brave, but he was still a prisoner in a golden cage. He wanted freedom. He wanted to return to Earth and fight for his people. Yet, every time he looked at Kalira, he saw someone fighting for what she believed in. Someone lonely and strong. He didn't know what to choose. The question one night. As they stood on the palace balcony, Kalira took Eli's hand. "If I gave up everything," she said softly, "my crown, my empire, would you choose to stay with me?" Eli looked at the stars beyond the palace. He thought about Earth, about freedom, about love. He didn't answer. The golden halls of the palace buzzed with tension. The Valeri Empire stood on the edge of chaos. Kalira's enemies inside the council grew bolder, their whispers turning into plans for rebellion. For Eli Ward, the human caught in the middle, the moment to act had come. The warning from Earthali's secret transmitter buzzed quietly in his quarters. A coded message blinked on the screen. "Window open in 36 hours. Extraction possible." It was from Earth. A stealth ship was ready to rescue him. The Resistance had not forgotten him. He felt a rush of hope and fear. This was his chance, too. Leave to be free. But Kalira was his protector and his captor. His heart twisted with conflicting emotions. A palace on the brink in the throne room, Kalira stood before her generals. Their faces were hard, their voices sharp with accusation. "You threaten the Empire's stability," one shouted. "This human weakens our rule." Kalira's voice was calm but firm. "Eli is not a threat. He saved my life. He is part of the future I choose." The generals grumbled. The palace was divided. Rebellion was close. The Choicelli sat in his room, packing a small bag of supplies. The weight of the moment pressed on him. Escape meant freedom, but also leaving Kalira behind. Stay meant danger, and loyalty to a queen who had shown him kindness in a ruthless empire. His thoughts were interrupted by a knock. Kalira entered, her eyes searching his face. "You must go," she said quietly. "For your safety and mine." He shook his head. "I want to help you fight." She smiled sadly. There is no fight I can win with you here. It's preparing for departure that night. Eli moved through the palace like a shadow. Guards were tense, eyes watching for any sign of rebellion. He reached the palace roof, where the stealth ship waited, hidden in the stars. His heart pounded as he climbed aboard, but just as the engines began to roar, a figure appeared in the hatch. Kalira, bleeding but determined. Go, she whispered. Be free, even if it breaks me. Eli hesitated. He looked at her, a queen who had given everything for him. Then he turned and fled into the night. Sky, flames below, the ship lifted away, the palace erupted in flames. Betrayal and war tore through the Empire's heart. Eli watched helplessly, as the world he had known fell apart, but deep inside, a new hope burned, the hope that Kalira's sacrifice would not be in vain. Arrival on Earth, a stealth ship traveled fast. Jumping through space toward Earth, Eli's thoughts turned homeward to the people who fought and waited for him. He was free. But the war was far from over. A message from the Empress before the ship landed, a final transmission came through, from Kalira, Empress of the Valeri Empire. I have survived. I will fight for peace, for Earth, for us. Eli's heart ached and soared at the same time. The future was uncertain, but something had changed. Eli Ward stood on the landing platform of Earth's orbital station, watching the blue-green planet below. After months of war and struggle, he was finally home, but his heart was heavy. The galaxy had changed, and so had he. A hero's return. Eli's arrival was met with cheers and relief. Earth's leaders hailed him as a hero. The information he brought from the Valeri Empire was invaluable. Detailed plans, weaknesses, and the knowledge of an unexpected ally, Empress Kalira. Despite the celebrations, Eli felt distant. He thought often of the Empress who had risked everything for him. Rebuilding and Worth's forces used the intel to push back the Valeri fleets. Battles raged across space, but hope grew. A fragile peace seemed possible. Eli worked as a liaison between Earth and its allies, preparing for what lay ahead. A message beyond the stars one day, as Eli reviewed battle reports. A secure message. It was from Kalira. I have survived. I have united the Empire. I seek peace. Let us meet. Eli's heart quickened. The Empress, once a distant ruler, now a symbol of hope. The meeting months later. Eli stood aboard a Valeri peace cruiser. The stars outside glittered like jewels. Kalira entered, regal and radiant. No longer just a queen, but a leader reborn. She smiled softly. You are free now. You can leave. Eli shook his head. I don't want to leave. Their eyes met. Full of unspoken promises, a new beginning together, they worked to end the war. The Valeri Empire began to change. Embracing peace and cooperation, Eli and Kalira's bond grew stronger. Built on respect and love, the future standing on a balcony overlooking the stars. Eli spoke softly. I never wanted this. ... But now. Can't imagine life without you. Kalira took his hand. The galaxy is wide, but together we are home. The stars shone brightly above, promising new stories yet to be told.